We're getting there. These alerts off. We are good. We are good to go. It's Triumph Tuesday. Good morning, everyone. This is Carol, aka Naughty Boss, live on this Triumph Tuesday with two
Sisters. Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0 with a chirping bird. Boy, I can't wait to move my office downstairs. Really looking forward to that. Looking at different things I may need. Really don't need too much, obviously. And I'm very excited about that. So obviously today's conversation, Triumph Tuesday, things that we triumph over. Maybe it was just something as simple as making your bed, folding that load of laundry that's been in your dryer for a few days now. I'm guilty of that every now and then. Whatever it is for you. And the whole point about celebrating these triumphs is not to, oh my God, well, I didn't get to this, so I can't triumph over that. It's not about that. It's about, were you faced with a challenge? Did you complete a task that maybe has been on your to-do list that, oh my gosh, you were finally able to set aside some time to do it? So many different things that you can triumph over. Little, big, small, whatever it may be, those are triumphs. So I would love to share with everyone, excuse me. I am doing, now normally I wouldn't do this. I do, Facebook challenges, and there's some things that I'm, researching on how to implement in the TwoSistas business as well as my own business, which doing a challenge takes me out of my comfort zone. So I'm actually doing 3. One is manifesting law of attraction, which I know about, but learning different strategies. So that's really important. A YouTube challenge, and how to plan and discover and come up with your digital product. So those are some things that I am triumphing over. Carol Sue, what's on your list?
Oh, I've got a ton of things going on that I'm also working on. I'm a contestant with the Ultimate Thriver contest, and which has really been a challenge to try to triumph over when you're not feeling well, when you're in some sort of transformation challenge, and it's a 12-week challenge. So it's an ongoing process. I'm in my second set of 4 weeks, but I was excited because kind of like I'm doing what I'm triumphing over at the same time what's trending. So I found these new ankle weights. Now normally I do have ankle weights. I have 2 pairs, one that's 1.5 pounds each around the ankle, and then I have another one, I think that's 2.5 pounds. 1.5 to equal 3, and then 2.5 to equal 5. That's what it is. But I found a pair where there's inserts that you can add or subtract weight. And of course, it's, one of these kind of things that I was actually going to talk about for what's trending Thursday, because they're very much trending. But because I haven't been feeling my best, I said I've got to find other ways to get movement in that is still really pushing me, at the same time respecting my body, my stamina, where I'm at, the coughing fits and all of that. So they actually came in yesterday, and when I put them on at full weight just to feel what they would feel like, you would thought, I'm trying to think of the name of the movie. It was with this amazing actor, Kudik Jr., and he was a sailor, and he wanted to be a special diver or whatever, and they had to wear, I think Robert De Niro was in it, and he had to wear the heavy metal suit to be a diver. And you had to, in order to pass, you had to keep this suit on for a certain amount of time, and it was heavy metal, and walk, because you're walking with like this metal and the steel. And he And the movie was exciting. I can't think of the name of the movie. I'll have to look it up. But anywho, so I put these weights on and I felt like I was playing the part of, because I could barely move my ankles. So I thought to myself, okay, that's not going to work. I have to adjust it. And this is what I liked about it, because I wanted to increase the weight that I would walk with or do some exercises, some reps with. But I wanted to move past what I'd already been doing, and there was no weight in between. So what I did is I removed two of the, and they're inserts, and it almost looks like little thin bean bags, and they go into the inserts of the ankle band. So I moved two from each. Still had some difficulties, but I said, let me do it for an hour. So I was making dinner, and as I was making dinner, so you can multitask. So for our viewers that are listening that can't see us, I was actually putting my hands on the counter, and I would raise my leg. I would do bend my leg and do like kind of like a back leg pull, where it's kind of giving your butt and your glutes and your back of your thighs some good movement. And then I would do some side leg movements, repetition. Then I would sit on the couch and I would go forward. So again, I was getting some movement, trying to push myself, but I was able to kind of find a happy medium with the weights. So I love the fact that you can adjust them. So say if you want to wear them when you're power walking, you could adjust it accordingly to give you a little extra oomph, but not impede, maybe the speed or the power that you want to walk with. Then when you really want to work, your leg muscles or your glutes, you can increase or decrease depending on what type of exercise that you're doing. So, I triumphed over that because I thought to myself, I'm kind of in between these weight sizes. One gives me enough to maybe go out and walk with, and then one might be too much. I need something in between, and then to gradually keep changing. So this provided that, and I never knew that they had that. So yes, while I had to pivot and kind of re-navigate what I was doing, I triumphed over that, finding something that was going to assist me.
That's awesome. And
yeah,
I can't wait to
I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to check that out. That definitely would be something that a trending Thursday kind of topic. But think about that for a moment. You see this product, you researched it, and you're trying it out, and I think it's I'm thinking of all the different types of exercises that you can do with that. Back lunges, and then when you're bringing your forward, kicking your leg out. I mean,
absolutely. And you can also use them on your arms, again, to get some, maybe even if like somebody doesn't have boxing gloves, because you love to box, you can put them around your wrist. Now, obviously my wrists, are probably maybe too small for them, but there is Velcro, so I might be able to finagle it, because again, I use the ankle weights on my wrist sometimes too, but I'm at that point where, it's light and I could go up a little bit, but the next ones up are too much. So I want something in between. And, again, it didn't discourage me. And the triumph piece comes to, because it would have been just as easy for me to say, well, if the weights that you're currently using aren't doing it for you, just don't do it. And I'm like, no, I still got to get movement in. I've got to find that I can't do a full-fledged, hour of workout, but I'm trying to do more compact routines to a certain degree, but also keep in mind of where my stamina is. And you have to triumph over that. It's a happy balance. It doesn't always, you get discouraged because, I might get a little bit more winded than normal. But I try to do them in segments. So, yesterday was really just triumphing over how to learn how to walk with them, because it almost felt like when I was full-fledged with all the weights, like I was literally walking on Mars or with these heavy metal things, and it's not metal. Obviously, it's a wrap that's, like I said, they're like little, and I'll show them on Thursday for like what's trending Thursday. It's like little bean bags, and they have inserts where they go into the whole wrap. So it is pretty cool, but I triumphed over that. So I felt good that I didn't give up on myself and say, just make dinner, because I try to do my movement when I'm already standing up doing things. You know, you've got to find ways to navigate how to triumph over, well, I can't do it this way, so I've got to figure out and navigate another way to do it. So that is what I've been working on. So I'm pretty pumped, pretty excited. I feel better about it, that I'm not, you know, because now I'm in obviously officially in week 2 of the second 4 weeks. And when you get derailed, and this is where, you know, the whole triumph mindset comes in, because that's why our Monday mindset helps us with triumphing over getting through these things, is when you're in any kind of challenge, whether it's an online challenge or, you know, manifesting challenge or journaling challenge, reading challenge, fitness challenge, health, whatever it may be, you have to find ways to not quit, right? That's the huge thing. Don't quit. Continue where you're at, but you just maybe have to pivot a little bit in order to get it done.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of pivots, you know, I mean, I think the last few years have been a big lesson in pivots. And now I want to bring something up. It's really something about something, nothing about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you had done a post yesterday, and I couldn't find it to go back to, but it was something about February 7th. So out of curiosity this morning, I looked up that day in history.
Oh,
I love history, by the way. So the only thing that I could think of, which I think is huge, everybody knows who they are. Well, pretty much everybody. On February 7th, 1964, the Beatles first came to the United States.
Yes, I actually posted about that, because I remember, you were probably too young to quite remember it, but I remember Mommy and Dad, we had the television on, we watched Ed Sullivan, and, you know, I remember it so vividly, and I was 8 years old at the time when they came to the United States, and I remember just, you know, New York was going like the girls, the screaming, the fainting, and it was so cool to watch.
Well, no, you were actually 6 years old.
No, it was in 1958 they came. I mean, 1964. 1964, correct. I was 6 then. No, they were.
Yeah,
I thought they were here in 66. I can't remember.
It says 64 because I'm like, wait a minute.
Right. Well, so I was 6. It doesn't matter whether I was 6 or 8. I don't remember how old I was. I was young, but I distinctly remember it. I remember sitting there, and of course, back then, families only had one TV. They didn't have the thousands of TVs that we do now, like a TV in every room, right? So we had the one TV with the rabbit ears, black and white TV, and we sat in our living room. And, you know, I remember Mommy was pretty excited. Daddy thought it was bizarre because he, you know, sees all these girls fainting. Why would you be fainting? And I remember Mommy saying, kind of was almost like an Elvis Presley moment, because a lot of girls, you know, it's that kind of same analogy where, you know, and then of course the Beatles lead into, you know, the Beach Boys and all these other different groups, and their hairdo. I remember them distinctly. I don't remember what they kept talking about. I think Daddy said it looked like a mop. Because remember, they had back then they weren't quite as long as they eventually got, but they wore their hairstyles a little bit differently. And Daddy thought it was too long. And even though it really wasn't that long, he thought it was too long.
You know, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because you know, Ed Sullivan's show, obviously, you know, I got a little bit older and being a little girl. I don't know who it was, but I remember Daddy says something about whoever the entertainer that was on, get a haircut, get a job.
Yeah. So it's so funny how we look back to those pivotal moments of time and then incorporate, you know, what our parents' vision of or their opinions were regarding, that entertainer or whatever, and compare it to today. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So while we're talking about history, and I may have said this before, but I absolutely love history. Excuse me. Obviously, when I was going to school, I hated it. I'm just being real here. So this day in history in 1978, New England was blasted with a very severe blizzard. Connecticut was buried. In fact, what I do recall from that was the first time that we actually used the fireplace in the house in Cromwell, the white, beautiful fireplace. Remember that?
Yes, that was, I mean, both of our homes, we were blessed with beautiful fireplaces. The one on Elizabeth Street in Hartford. I remember one of the favorite things before they had them, which of course now you can just buy them, we would roll up the newspaper and make paper logs to help, and that was a kindling. So in other words, Dad didn't go out and get kindling. He got, with the fireplace in Hartford, we would roll the paper up and make almost like little paper logs, and he would use that as kindling to start the fire. And then obviously once we were in Cromwell, by then they had all the Duraflame and all that stuff like that. So, it was much easier to start the fire, but, nothing like a cozy fire with the family around playing, a game or a holiday or, just even chatting. Because, again, our parents did not have a TV in the living room. I don't think they ever had one in the living room. It's always in the family room. But I mean, in our house in Hartford, our family slash living room was one room, and that's where the TV was. But it is funny just to think about even that piece to it, that back then, most households only had one TV.
Right, exactly. I mean, how many TVs are in this house? Well, we have 4 up and running with the Amazon stick, but that's a lot of TVs for 2 people when you really think about it. But it's nice because if I'm working and Gary wants to watch something, like, go on the other side of the house. And now, like I said, I just can't wait to get downstairs. Oh, here's another interesting fact, and this really has nothing to do about nothing. So how there is, excuse me, chalk paint. So in other words, you can paint a wall or whatever, and obviously let it dry, and then it's like a chalkboard, or they have a whiteboard. So it got me to thinking of where I'm putting my desk downstairs in my old bedroom, because it's a big room. And I thought, oh, just out of curiosity, I wonder if they have green paint. They do have green paint. Not that I would do that, but I thought that was quite interesting. Never would I have imagined.
No, I would say you're referring to green paint because of keeping that solid color. Green is the color that you use for any kind of technology and whatnot, and backgrounds or whatnot. I don't know why it's green, but
yeah,
they call it the green room. I don't know what it is about that color that makes whatever background more clear, but it does. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, so that's something that we should probably look into. John, now I'm very curious. Of course, I will probably look that up for sure. Do you have something about something or nothing about nothing?
Let's see if I got something about something and nothing about nothing. Yeah, it was funny. Last night I was talking to Tina, our daughter, and so I was in our bedroom, and John was watching a movie, and he comes in, and he likes to play doctor every now and then. He said, your cough, you really need to go to the doctor's. And I said, what is the doctor going to tell me? And he just stares at me with this blank look. And I said, exactly. And then I walked away. And he's like this puzzled look. I said, that's the point. They're not going to tell me anything. They're going to, are you, I don't have a temperature. I don't really have any chest congestion. It's because I've got postnasal drip, and I am taking an antihistamine, which does help. for when I cough. And then he comes back in a few minutes later, just don't talk.
Well, that's so funny because, with, for instance, going to the eye doctor, when I was working and traveling to Milford, to the Glastonbury office, to the Avon office, I noticed, like, especially with driving at night, the glare, the lights, everything going every which way. So add into that maybe rain or snow. It was very difficult. That's why I don't drive at night anymore. Every now and then I may, if I really have to. Excuse me. But and I went into the doctor, had my eye exam, oh, you have any questions? I said, yeah, by the way, and I explained to him, what was happening. And he said, well, that happens with age. I said, well, what do I do about it? He says, don't drive at night. Thank you for that educated. Well, he's right, but I looked at him, I'm like, really?
Right. Was there anything medically you can do? And I don't notice it at all. Maybe with rain, definitely would never notice it with snow, because snow is, it's not wet in the sense of that reflects, any issues for me. But definitely rain will bother it. And the key piece is, if I'm on familiar roads, it's not an issue. If I'm on unfamiliar roads, that's when it becomes an issue. So you're right. You just kind of play it by ear. And if it's, and if it's just like a spray or whatever, I'll still drive in it. But if it's like a downpour, where, it might impede, especially like in Florida, when it really downpours, you can hydroplane pretty quickly if you're not really paying attention to how much rain is coming down at any given time. So in those kinds of cases, no, I'll decide to opt out. Because I, like, even during the day, I don't like driving in the rain. Rain is just, I would rather have 2 feet of snow, which sounds pretty bizarre to people, but for me, you get more traction. Even if you're sliding, I feel like I've got more control than I do like if I was hydroplaning. So I don't know. I've never had and I actually would always think that it was a challenge to drive in the middle of a snowstorm. And I've done it several times. And it can be, like I said, it could be a little hairy, a little scary, but I kind of like that challenge. Would not like that challenge if it was rain. Something about the rain, because like you said, the reflection, it's easier to see the different reflections. And it's not just your own headlights or the other car headlights, it's street lights, especially, or if it's like a stretch of road that has no lights. Then I'm finding myself, get closer to the car in front of me, so at least I got a pathway to go through. Because it just makes it very glaring, because you don't really know where you're going. Or then, depending on what type of lights they are, you've got shopping plazas, you have just all these different reflections of different lights. So, it is part of, age, and there actually is specific vitamins that you could take for your eyes, and you can buy them at your local pharmacy or Walmart or whatever. So I do take some of those, and it strengthens the muscle, strengthens the eye, because that has a lot to do with it. Let's face it, when you age, your skin, your textures, everything starts to change, your elasticity changes. Well, guess what? The muscles in your eyes are going to change as well. So, make sure that you're getting your eyes examined once a year. And, I had to finally break down and, get glasses. And I wore them when I was younger. I don't know why I stopped, but I did. But the bottom line is, I only take them off maybe about 30 minutes a day, if that, because I really see the definite difference wearing them versus not wearing them. And, sometimes people, you just have to say, yeah, suck it up, buttercup, because you know what? I've got to find ways to navigate and triumph through whatever I'm going through in order to be my best version of myself, fully intact. So if you got to wear glasses, you got to wear glasses. Now, a lot of people say, because you hate glasses, why don't you get contacts? Could not even remotely consider putting anything in my eyeball like that. Like, I have a hard time just getting a drop in, never mind trying to get it contacted. That would be a very stressful situation. And I'm all about removing stress from my life, not adding more to it. So I would not be a good candidate, because I can't even get drops in my eyeball. So that's not happening.
Well, I've definitely worn contacts in the past and got very used to them. But what I was finding because every couple of years my eyesight has been changing, that wearing the contacts, because I can't see far, you take my glasses off and everything's a blur. So when I'm wearing my contacts and I'm doing very close work, I have to wear cheaters. So I'm like, why am I spending all this money for contacts?
Right.
I would love to get them again. You go out, you really want. Do I think glasses take away from the face? Yeah, I guess so, here and there. I guess it really depends, but I'm okay with it.
Well, the one thing that pees me off about the glasses, I'm not kidding. I've got like 50 pairs of sunglasses, all colored ones, cool looking ones. What do I do with those?
Well, I'll tell you what,
these are transitioning, so they do naturally turn into a sunglass. But I think because I do like wearing big sunglasses, I think that's going to be my next purchase. Is I'm going to get a prescription sunglasses, even though these do transition. And the other piece to it is a lot of regular lenses now. I find, because I've got a smaller face, that I can wear bigger sunglasses, but regular glasses you can't wear them big. You would look, well, actually you did wear them big when some years back.
Yes, I did. Shutty.
I'm thinking of that picture in my head now. I'm cracking up. So just so our viewers, listeners know,
Shutty. Janice
wore these big, like I want to say aviator, but they were even bigger than an aviator. And they covered half of her face. That's what was in style back then. And
it was.
You weren't the only one doing that, but that vision came in my head, so I started to crack up. But anywho, so with sunglasses, you can tend to wear a bigger sunglass because they just, fashion, whatever it may be, they look fine. But a regular prescription glasses, clear, even though they transition, you can't, because you look like a meatball. So I do want to get a pair, but I felt bad because I love buying that, sunglasses, these just funky ones. So occasionally I'll still wear them at the beach. I'm a little blinded, but I do wear them just to change things up a little bit. And also I remember because I went from like 0 to 100, with these glasses. One eyeball was really funky. So it's, definitely two different lenses. So I remember when I first was adjusting to them, and we have a good friend that is an optometrist, and she said, do not take them off. She said, contrary to what your optometrist said, I don't believe in taking them off, especially because you're going from basically 0 to 100. And I said, well, what do you mean wear them to bed? She said, yes, wear them to bed. So when you first wake up, or if you have to get up during the night or whatever, you automatically have them on to kind of adjust, to adjust to them. So I did probably the first 40 days of my glasses, I wore them to bed. In addition, I slept in them. So now, and it's funny because obviously I don't, it's been, a year and a half, I'll take them off at night, and even I'll, maybe watch TV for a few minutes. And then because it's just so different from my eye vision, I'm like, oh, forget it. Let's turn the TV off and go to bed.
Well, you know what I do with all of those extra sunglasses? When I'm in the car, I just wear them. I wear them over these.
Oh, that's an idea. I could wear them over there. That's a good idea. Didn't think about that. I could be a double glass wearer. And if I'm in the car, who cares?
Right. Gary said something to me once. I'm like, who cares? Like, I'm driving, I'm using them, and it's cutting down on the glare. So if you think I look like a dork, then I look like a dork. I really care.
Right.
Double glasses.
Why not? Double glasses. Hey, whatever it works, you got to try it. You got to figure out things and make sure things are adaptable to what you're comfortable doing, and nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point of Triumph Tuesday, is sometimes we got to renavigate, renegotiate, derail, pivot. It's all good. The point being that you triumphed over it and you pat yourself on the back, because that's another thing that you're going to celebrate on Fantabulous Friday. So these are all good things.
Absolutely. And on that note, tomorrow we will be on at 9 a.m. We have a guest on. I'm really excited about her coming on. Her name is Andrea, and excuse me. And we'll be chatting obviously a lot with her on what she does. And what are you going to triumph over today? Go to our website and leave us a voice message. We'd love to hear from you. And that the website address is www.twosistas.online. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I am with TwoSistas.
And this is Carol, so aka Naughty Boss, ready to get some movement on, figuring out, what else will I be triumphing over today? Whatever it is, know that you have the ability to do it. You just got to pivot, just got to navigate. You got to just kind of change things up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Add it, make sure you note it down because it is something. It's a win. It's something that you can celebrate on Fantabulous Friday. With that, we'll see you tomorrow with our guest speaker, as Jan said, for Wellness Wednesday. Everyone have a great day. Take care.
Bye, everyone.